didn't know that when they put you under, you know, just out of the blue, you just be waking up like, hey, hi. I thought you was just waking up. Like they timed that shit perfectly. No, girl, they give you an adrenaline shot to wake you up out of that shit. Hello there, love bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky would be our ultimate animal print turban. Ooh, real sexy, goes with everything. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube, and for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's finish. You hear me? Finish. Not that it was, you know, a bad book to read, because it was an excellent book to read. I just think my audience is not as enthused to read about the debauchery of the Richard Pryor. Okay, so let's finish talking about Richard Pryor, Pryor convictions, and other life sentences. The official autobiography of the Richard Pryor. At the end of 1988, I worked on Harlem Nights, Eddie Murphy's pet movie project. At the time, no one was bigger. Exercising his clout, he was the picture's writer, director, and star. He was trying to scale the same mountain that I climbed making JoJo. I should have warned the motherfucker. I never connected with Eddie. People talked about how my work had influenced Eddie, and perhaps it did. But I always thought Eddie's comedy was mean. So this is funny to me, because when I'm thinking back to Eddie Murphy's earlier stand-up comedy movies, meaning Raw and I think it's Delirious, okay? I'm sure that he spoke of when he tried to reach out to Bill Cosby or connect with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was like, no, your mouth's too dirty. It's way too dirty. I'm not messing with you. Then he said that he was so much so in his feelings that he had contacted his friend, or non-friend, whatever, because this is from Eddie Murphy's perspective. But he had contacted his friend, Richard Pryor, and Richard Pryor had said, F Bill Cosby. Y'all, my bad. I can't really recall where exactly I got this tea about Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy in regards to the Harlem Nights movie. But Eddie Murphy had invited Richard Pryor and Rashawn Khan. I think it's Rashawn Khan who did it. But he had invited Richard Pryor to his home to discuss Harlem Nights. He had Richard Pryor waiting like in his office for damn near 2 hours, girl. How disrespectful. Now, don't get me wrong. Eddie Murphy is my most favoriteest, okay, favoriteest comedian next to Chris Rock. Okay, Chris Rock is the new Dick Gregory to me. Yeah, I was thrown back at the fact that who the hell lets Richard Pryor sit in their office and wait for them for 2 hours? Who is you, nigga? I know you, Eddie the Murphy, but that's Richard the Pryor. I never connected with Eddie. People talked about how my work had influenced Eddie, and perhaps it did. But I always thought Eddie's comedy was mean. I used to say, Eddie, be a little nice, and that would piss him off. But Eddie can act. I don't care what people say, the motherfucker is a great actor. True. That's why he did so well in the movies. Except when it came down to the time when he was doing Blackula or something like that. And he was it Blackula in New York, something like that. And he was flying around, turning into a black bat. And then the poor people would be like, "Come back, black chicken, come back, black." Because the poor people don't know the difference between a bat and a fucking chicken. So throwing me and Eddie together after so much dreaming by agents and studio executives sounded exciting as hell. The potential had guys in Hollywood putting money down on new Porsches and vacation homes. Then Red Fox joined the mix, and Eddie's movie took on an air of history. Yes, God. Yes, it did. Now, don't forget, thank God that Eddie Murphy did this. Okay, thank you, cheese, that Eddie Murphy reached out to Red Fox, because this was during the time that Red Fox had so many tax trouble. Okay, I don't understand. America is America, no matter what year it is, brother. If you make $1, the people's want 50 cents of it. I don't know how in the hell rich people get away with not paying their taxes so long. Maybe because they doing scams. Maybe you entertainers don't know how to reach out to the scam accountants, okay, and make sure that your work get taken care of, or that your tax work get taken care of, and then you only have to pay back, $2 on $2 million. Okay, I don't know. Ask Donald Trump how he got away with it. Then Red Fox joined the mix, and Eddie's movie took on the air of history. 3 generations of black comics looked like the middle of 1927 New York Yankees batting order. Man, I would compare Harlem Nights to Uptown Saturday Night. You couldn't get no better than that. Only Harlem Nights wasn't a comedy, It wasn't. What was it? What was it? If it wasn't a comedy, I laughed the whole damn time. It was Eddie's movie. That's what it was. I just wish that I'd been in peak form. For obvious reasons, I never felt obligated to inform anyone about the disease. But the fact was that MS shit gave me a difficult time. It was my secret. And it put me in a dark place mood-wise through most of the movie. I finished thinking that Eddie didn't like me. When me and BFF went to go see Harlem Nights in a theater, okay, we kept saying, what the hell? Something's not right about Richard. Something's not right. But we enjoyed the movie nonetheless. We thought it was hilarious. Richard, for some reason, always seemed detached from his movies. Like there was a disconnect somewhere. Like it was like he was in the center and everything else was orbiting around him. I felt the same way about Harlem Nights, even though Eddie Murphy was the star. But I was like, what is wrong with him? Y'all, I swear to God, it probably took me a decade of watching Harlem Nights for me to figure out, oh, he's not blinking. That's what it is. He's not blinking. It wasn't true, but thoughts don't care about truth and shit. They sit up in your mind and fuck with you whenever. Of course, even paranoids have reason to be scared. In March 1990, after cleaning up at the Betty Ford Center, I treated myself to a long overdue deep-sea fishing exhibition in Australia. However, before I even had the chance to set off from my Brisbane hotel, I got sick. Like severely lethargy and shit. Chills, weakness, weird pain. Despite my objections, I really wanted to go fishing. The hotel doctor checked me into a local hospital where other doctors hooked me up to all this shit and told me that I'd had a heart attack. The effects of the heart attack weren't mild. Afraid that I might die alone without anyone around to love me, I remarried Flynn on April 1st. It wasn't hard. Flynn was there. She had my kids. She liked being married to me, Smart Rich. How much did the foolish decision cost you? Can't remember. It doesn't matter anymore. We divorced a few months later, and then I was just as alone as before, But I didn't want to be dead without a wife. Honest, if I was going to die, I wanted a bitch to be there to cry. I never considered how much I could stand. No doubt the fire, the MS, and now the heart attack had caught up with me. though I didn't really acknowledge it until shortly before I partnered with Gene Wilder in Another You. One morning, I woke up and tried getting out of bed, but my legs wouldn't move. Not a fucking kick or a twitch. Damn, he is still working? Damn, man, Richard Pryor, man. Let me tell you something. If Richard Pryor married me, he literally would have to, I don't know, get a stick and beat me away from him, okay? Because, man, all right, rather than dwell on what could possibly be worse, I spent 2 intensely hard, exhausting, painful weeks learning how to walk again. By the time the camera rolled, I was on my feet, fragile, wobbly, and obviously not in fighting shape. But I was on my feet. It took regular cortisone shots and steroid treatments for my doctor to keep me going, but I was determined to finish the picture. Yet towards the end, that even seemed iffy. The picture, which was strife-ridden after a change of direction, ran weeks over schedule. By that time, I was exhausted. I never had a conversation with Gene or anyone about my struggle with MS. But it was pretty clear my body was mostly beyond my control. They started keeping a wheelchair on set for me. That's so heartbreaking. It's at the end of May in 1991. He's laying in bed, right? Okay. And, Deborah comes in the room. Come on, Rich, let's go. Okay, now you know Deborah. She dead. Deborah always dead. Jenny always dead. What's her name? Flynn, whoever that baby mother is. Okay, he got, a few, all right. But he's there with Deborah, all right. Deborah says to him, let's get ready to go, all right. He says, no, I'm not going. I just don't have the energy to go, right. She like, what you talking about, baby? We need you to get up and go to these MS doctors so we can see what we can do to put you in a better place. Can't do it, Deborah. I don't have the energy to do it. Deborah takes a good look at him and say, ooh, baby, I think you really need to go. A few hours later, the doctor saw a funny blip on my EKG and checked me into the hospital for observation. Was I scared? Scared of dying? Shit, I don't know. A nurse sticking a giant needle into my arm. Another, she explained, was going into my heart. Okay, I wasn't there to argue, but whatever drug they give you before an operation, you don't have to worry about it. It takes all the pain away. Girl, that shit is called fentanyl, okay? That's what it's called. And then they have to give you an adrenaline shot to wake your ass back up. I didn't know that. I found that out on a humble when I was reading my information for my boob reduction thing. I was like, okay, la la la, they say this, they say that. Then they put the drugs there, and I was like, fentanyl, do these niggas know what they doing with the fentanyl? And then they said at the bottom, adrenaline shot. I'm like, what? I didn't know that when they put you under, just out of the blue, you just be waking up like, hey, hi. I thought you was just waking up. Like they timed that shit perfectly. No, girl, they give you an adrenaline shot to wake you up out of that shit. Enough was enough. In September, I decided to take battle with MS Public. The nudge came when producer George Slatner asked if he could organize a special CBS tribute to me, and I agreed. The show brought together Arsenio Hall, Eddie Murphy, Patti LaBelle, and dozens of friends and performers in an emotional look at my entire career. Until then, MS had been a private matter. My problem was too proud to want to be seen as deliberate, nor did I want sympathy, nor did I want to discuss any of the shit. I had more than enough problems trying to figure out why the F God had decided to give me MS. I asked the question daily, sometimes hourly. It echoed in my head like an effing church bell. Why me? Why did you give this shit to me? Although impossible to cure, I fought the MS by devoting a part of every day to some kind of treatment. In addition to the cortisone injections and intravenous steroids that I'd been taking for nearly 2 years, I saw a therapist. took antidepressants for my mood swings, and worked with physical therapists. I also watched my diet and alcohol consumption. My doctor said, "You're doing great. You could go on like this for a long time." Is that a reward, I asked? Considering the alternative, I supposed it was. By the fall of 1992, I was resigned to life in the slow lane and hopefully few surprises. If I went crazy, it was with my remote control flipping through 120 channels with the speed I used to drive. But then one day, I got my ass kicked. The phone rang. My assistant told me that my accountant was on the line, and he was very worried. He says that he heard you were dead. Tell him I am dead. There were probably countless ways I could have dispelled the reports of my premature demise, but the one I chose certainly wasn't the easiest. On October 31st, after weeks of working out new material at the Comedy Store, I performed before a sold-out audience at the Circle Star Theater outside San Francisco. My first concert in nearly 6 years. Didn't matter how many times I'd done this before, I was scared. First of all, they call it stand-up comedy, but I found myself having to adapt to a format with a big, easy chair placed in the center of the stage. Swallowing more fear than I'd known my entire life, I gingerly made my way across the stage with the assistance of a silver-handled cane. Then I sat down. It wasn't easy. The crowd thought they were there to laugh, but my physical condition also gave them some major drama. Gave me some too, you know. Afterwards, I thought I had kicked ass. The reviews were mostly in agreement. When he say mostly in agreement, I'm wondering, what some of those reviews said. Like, what did they say? Richard Pryor is over. He need to go back to bed, sit down, shut the fuck up, and just die. Is that what they want him to say? Because I'm confused. What do you want from a man that is still attempting to provide the world with his craft, and then you got people ready to throw him away? Life can seem so complicated at times. Yet when you look back, what is it besides the accumulation of such encounters with people? You never know. As for me, I's amazed that I didn't OD on heroin, get stuffed with coke, or die from AIDS. I think it's remarkable that I'm still here thinking these silly thoughts. Some people have said it's pure luck. Sagittarians are the most luckiest signs in the zodiac, by the way, just for your information. Others say it's testimony to the human spirit. I think it has more to do with something else. Through an old friend of mine, I once said, there ain't but 2 pieces of pussy you're gonna get in your life. That's your first and your last. And all the shit in between don't matter. You's a lie. You's a lie. You know what's crazy? I do remember my first. I do. And I remember my last. My wife. I remember some sprinkles of some other names and stuff in there. But it's true. It's true. It's true. I don't remember every name. I told y'all I did not have a hot pussy, but it was lukewarm. Damn, that's true. That's true. But I need you to remember this. I don't care what number I am. 37, 3700, 2, 3, whatever. I need you to remember this. There ain't but 2 pieces of pussy you're going to get in life. That's your first and your last. And all that shiz in between doesn't matter. That's just the extra gravy. But you never forget your first, and you damn sure won't forget your last. And if you live that long, you're in trouble. I'd rather die of cancer than fuck around and remember my last piece of pussy. I got some this morning, and that's as far back as I want to remember. Oh yeah, one more thing. I always remember to keep some sunshine on my face.
She can call that she in the air.
plugs. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this. The same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, have a good one.